your own podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
You're about a year in now. I think you started, I had here December 14th last year.
You know better than me.
Yeah. What was the original thesis?
Original thesis was, again, coming back to curiosity. You know, like I was actually having interesting conversations. Probably the first 5 or 6 people I interviewed were people I already knew, friends of mine. And, you know, I was having these interesting conversations, and a lot of the times at the end of the call, I'd be thinking, probably should have recorded that. You know, like a lot of people could have got value from that, and it would have been good to be able to look back on. So then I thought about, you know, I was listening to other podcasts as well, Tim Ferriss, all the sort of usual suspects that you mentioned before, and the format just appealed to me. And it was kind of one of those moments where I was just like, you know, I like to run experiments, as I said before. Why don't we just try this? You know, I've got 6 to 10 people I can probably interview. I feel like I'm a pretty good listener. I feel like I'm kind of good at guiding a conversation. So this could suit my strengths. Let's commit to doing 10. I'll do it, do the work. And then if I hate it after 10 episodes, then I'm allowed to quit and I'll stop. But if I'm enjoying it, I'll keep going. And yeah, I enjoyed it, so I kept going.
What's sort of been the thing that you've learnt the most? I was thinking originally, do I ask the best or worst? And there's nothing worse than saying that. So for I guess that maybe listening, but is there something that you've gleaned so far from doing it that you've been able to learn and apply in your own life?
Yeah. Oh, so many things. I think one thing that stands out for me is that at the end of the day, people are just people.
Yeah.
You know, like...
That's a big thing.
It's a big thing. And what I really learned is that I said I started with people I knew, but then obviously you kind of start reaching out to people, cold reaching out. There's people that I admired and I saw as way ahead of me and above me. And I thought they'd be interesting people to interview, so I'd reach out to them. Some would agree, some wouldn't. But then I always found like the people who I did interview and I had interacted with, obviously, like I really admired them for what they'd done, and that's why I wanted to interview them. But then when you actually interact with them and talk to them, you really learn that they are just people at the end of the day. And it's kind of helped reframe, I guess, how I view myself. You know, like I can see people have amazing achievements and it's great to admire them, but you should never put people on a pedestal. You know, at the end of the day, the person's a person, and that's one of the biggest things I've learned.
I think if it probably changed your mindset when you saw that person driving in that Ferrari going, how do I do, what does this person do that I don't know to, I can do what this person's done?
Oh,
if that makes sense?
100%.
Yeah.
It's like, when you see what someone's achieved that seemed impossible, and then you interact with them and you see that they're just like you, then that resets your own bar, I guess, in your mind of what you can do.
Yeah. And it's sort of, it's better than going to someone saying, hey, you want to grab a coffee?
Exactly. 100%, man. Like, you can go up to someone and ask them to go for a coffee, they're probably going to say no, but hey, come on my podcast.
No worries, let's do it. Let's go for it.
People love it. That's the thing, man. People, and I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, people love talking about themselves and their achievements, which is cool. And they're going
to get some value out of it.
They're going to get some value.
They might, you know, someone finds them that hasn't found them before, can be saying that they can use themselves in marketing.
Yep.
Why, I found it interesting that you select, although you talk about similar topics of sort of self-improvement, business and marketing and whatnot, you put it under the education section. Was that to get a difference or competitive advantage, or was it that you felt that this is really just lessons to be learned?
It's a good question. I think, so a lot of my guests are business people, entrepreneurs, CEOs, people who have built companies. So it makes sense to put them in the business category. But, you know, what I want from the podcast essentially is that I want it to be, it's not just business people. A lot of people are, because that's what I'm really interested in. But, you know, I've interviewed people who have nothing to do with business, you know, like people who have done like 10-day meditation retreats and what they learned from that. You know, there's no sort of business angle there, but I found it fascinating.
Yeah.
And so that's why I kind of put it in the education space, because And that's something I'm passionate about. Like, I actually see myself as a teacher, you know, and I don't see myself as a teacher in the traditional sense of this is school or classroom or whatever, but what I'm trying to do is take these amazing, interesting people, extract their stories and sort of get them to present them succinctly and distill that knowledge and then present that to people in a way that they can understand and resonate with. And that's what teaching is to me, so that's why it's education.